The guns have fallen silent in Gaza, a fragile ceasefire holds. The echoes of the recent conflict still linger in the air, but for the first time in weeks, there is a sense of calm. The streets, once filled with the sounds of war, are now eerily quiet, as if the city itself is taking a deep breath. After weeks of fear and destruction, there is a glimmer of hope in the air. The people of Gaza, resilient and strong, are beginning to emerge from the shadows. They walk through the rubble, not with despair but with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. People dare to dream of a better future. Conversations that were once dominated by survival are now filled with aspirations and plans. Families gather, sharing stories of hope and resilience, their faces lit up with smiles that had long been absent. A future free from violence. The sight of children playing in the streets, their laughter echoing through the air, is a powerful symbol of this newfound peace. These moments of joy are precious, a stark contrast to the fear that once gripped their lives. A future where children can grow up without the shadow of war. The simple act of playing soccer in a park, of running freely without fear, is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. These children, the future of Gaza, deserve a life of peace and opportunity. This is a moment of great significance, a turning point in the long and troubled history of Gaza. The city, with its rich history and culture, stands at a crossroads. The choices made now will shape the future for generations to come. The recent conflict has left deep scars on the people and the land. The destruction is vast and the wounds are deep. But amidst the devastation there is a collective will to heal and rebuild. But amidst the rubble, there is a spirit of resilience. Communities come together, helping one another to clear the debris and start anew. This spirit of unity and cooperation is the foundation upon which a new Gaza can be built. Gazans are determined to rebuild their lives. The sight of construction workers repairing buildings, of families working together to restore their homes, is a testament to their unwavering resolve. They are determined to create a brighter future for their children. Education, once disrupted by conflict, is now a priority. Parents and teachers work tirelessly to ensure that the next generation has the tools they need to succeed. This is a story of hope and determination. It is a story of a people who refuse to be defined by their hardships, but instead choose to rise above them. Families reunite, communities rebuild, and a new chapter begins. It is a story that needs to be told. The world is watching. Journalists and aid workers are on the ground, documenting the resilience and strength of the Gazan people. Their stories are a reminder of the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome. The international community has a responsibility to support the people of Gaza. Aid and resources are crucial in this time of rebuilding. The support of the global community can make a significant difference in the lives of those affected by the conflict. We must work together to ensure that this ceasefire holds. Peacekeeping forces and community leaders play a vital role in maintaining stability. Their efforts are essential in preventing a return to violence. We must work together to build a just and lasting peace. Diplomatic efforts and peace rallies are steps towards a future where conflict is a distant memory. The path to peace is long, but it is a journey worth taking. The future of Gaza depends on it. The hopes and dreams of the young generation rest on the shoulders of those who strive for peace. As the sun rises over Gaza, it brings with it the promise of a new dawn, a new beginning. To understand the present, we must look to the past. The conflict in Gaza is rooted in a complex history. It is a conflict that has claimed countless lives. It is a conflict that has caused immeasurable suffering. For decades, the people of Gaza have lived under occupation. They have endured repeated cycles of violence. The recent conflict was sparked by a long-standing dispute over land and resources. It was fueled by mistrust and animosity. It was a conflict that no one wanted, but one that seemed inevitable. The fighting was fierce and relentless. Both sides suffered heavy losses, but it was the civilians who bore the brunt of the violence. The conflict in Gaza is a tragedy for all involved. It is a reminder of the human cost of conflict. It is a reminder of the urgent need for peace. War is never the answer. It is a brutal and destructive force that leaves only suffering in its wake. The recent conflict in Gaza was no exception. Thousands of people were killed, many of them innocent civilians. Homes were destroyed, families were torn apart, and lives were shattered. The physical scars of the conflict are all too visible, but the psychological scars run even deeper. The trauma of war will stay with the people of Gaza for years to come. children have witnessed horrors that no one should ever have to see. Parents have lost children and children have lost parents. The international community must provide urgent humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza. We must help them to rebuild their lives. We must help them to heal their wounds. As the bombs fell on Gaza, the world watched in horror. Governments condemned the violence and called for a ceasefire. International organizations rushed to provide aid to the victims, and people around the world took to the streets to demand an end to the bloodshed. The United Nations Security Council held emergency meetings to discuss the crisis, but their efforts to broker a ceasefire were repeatedly blocked. The United States, Israel's closest ally, vetoed a resolution calling for an end to the violence. Despite the political deadlock, there was a groundswell of support for the people of Gaza. Millions of people around the world donated money to humanitarian organizations, and many governments pledged to provide aid to help with the reconstruction effort. Section 5. Rebuilding lives, rebuilding hope. With the ceasefire in place, the long and difficult task of rebuilding Gaza has begun. The scale of the destruction is immense. Homes, schools, hospitals, and infrastructure have all been damaged or destroyed. But amidst the rubble, there is a spirit of hope and determination. People are returning to their homes, eager to start rebuilding their lives. Aid workers are working tirelessly to provide food, water, shelter, and medical care to those in need. And the international community is pledging billions of dollars to support the reconstruction effort. Rebuilding Gaza will be a long and challenging process, but it is a challenge that the Gazan people are determined to overcome. With the support of the international community, they can rebuild their lives and create a brighter future for themselves and their children. Section 6. The path to lasting peace. The ceasefire in Gaza is a fragile thing. It is a welcome respite from the violence, but it is not a solution in itself. Unless the underlying causes of the conflict are addressed, the cycle of violence will inevitably resume. The only path to lasting peace is through a negotiated settlement. Both sides must be willing to come to the table and make difficult compromises. They must be willing to listen to each other's grievances and to seek common ground. The international community has a vital role to play in facilitating these negotiations. We must encourage both sides to engage in dialogue and to work towards a peaceful resolution. We must also hold them accountable for any violations of international law. Section 7. A shared future. The Israelis and Palestinians are destined to share the land they both call home. This land, rich in history and culture, holds deep significance for both peoples. It is a place where their ancestors lived and where their children will grow up. They can choose to live together in peace or to continue to fight. The choice is theirs, and it is a choice that will shape the future of the region. Peaceful coexistence is not just a dream, it is a necessity for the survival and prosperity of both communities. But one thing is certain, violence will not bring them any closer to achieving their aspirations. The cycle of violence only leads to more suffering and loss on both sides. It destroys lives, homes, and the very fabric of society. A shared future is possible, but it will require a fundamental shift in mindset. It will require both sides to see each other not as enemies, but as neighbors and partners in building a better future. Both sides must be willing to recognize the other's humanity and their right to live in peace and security. This mutual recognition is the foundation upon which any lasting peace must be built. They must be willing to let go of the past and to work together to build a better future for their children. This means addressing grievances, healing wounds, and fostering a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. The international community can play a vital role in fostering this process of reconciliation. By providing support, resources, and a platform for dialogue, the global community can help bridge the divide. We can support people-to-people initiatives that bring Israelis and Palestinians together. These initiatives can help break down barriers and build trust through shared experiences and common goals. We can promote dialogue and understanding between the two communities. Open and honest communication is essential for resolving conflicts and finding common ground. And we can work to create a climate of trust and respect. By fostering a culture of peace, we can help ensure that future generations inherit a world where they can live side by side in harmony. Section 8. Seeds of Hope. Despite the devastation and despair, there are seeds of hope to be found in Gaza. Amidst the rubble and the ruins, life continues to sprout. Farmers tend to their crops with unwavering dedication, Children find moments of joy in their play and communities come together to rebuild what has been lost. There are young people who are determined to break the cycle of violence. These young activists are the heartbeat of a new generation, participating in youth empowerment programs and working together in schools and community centers. They are the future leaders who believe in the possibility of change. There are civil society organizations that are working to build bridges between communities. These groups facilitate dialogues, organize meetings, and create platforms for understanding and cooperation. They are the architects of peace, laying down the foundation for a more connected and harmonious society. And there are ordinary people on both sides of the conflict who are yearning for peace. Families who have suffered loss and pain still hold on to the hope of a peaceful coexistence. They participate in community gatherings, hold peace signs, and engage in dialogues that foster mutual respect and understanding. These seeds of hope may be small, but they are powerful. Just like a plant growing in a crack, they find a way to thrive against all odds. Children planting trees symbolize the nurturing of a future that is green and full of life. Every small act of hope contributes to a larger movement towards peace. They represent the possibility of a different future, a future where Israelis and Palestinians can live together in peace and harmony. These symbolic gestures like handshakes and peace demonstrations are powerful reminders that a different reality is possible. They show that despite the history of conflict, there is a shared desire for peace. It is up to all of us to nurture these seeds of hope. Just as a gardener tends to their plants, we must care for these fragile beginnings of peace. By supporting community gardens and other initiatives, we can help these seeds grow into a strong and resilient future. We must support those who are working for peace. Peace activists and volunteers dedicate their lives to this cause, often at great personal risk. They need our encouragement, our resources, and our voices to amplify their message. We must raise our voices against injustice and violence. Public protests and speeches are crucial in highlighting the need for justice. By standing up against violence, we show that we will not accept a world where conflict is the norm, and we must never give up on the dream of a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. The journey is long and fraught with challenges, but every step taken towards peace is